So look right here, we got an Acura ZDX showing up, and he is looking right now. He's looking to figure out whether or not he'll be able to get there and charge. And now he's probably looking at me and he's like, oh God, this guy right here in the Cadillac is waiting. And he's like, yeah, he's gonna be there before me. So this car is, what is this? This is a ZDX all-wheel drive. I think it says A-Spec on the side. It's got the yellow brakes. That ZDX, I actually respect that car specifically because that's a sister car to this car. So they're both GM products. They're both Ultium batteries. They're both BEV platform products. So that, and right there you see the Honda Passport. I respect these products. Look right there. You got that Buick, that Invista right there. I think that's made in South Korea. And it looks really cool because it's like really sharp looking. Unfortunately, it has a shitty small engine and everything because, you know, Korea, they only have like these 1 point whatever liter little bullshit engines because you don't really need that much power if you're in South Korea. It's like it's you and it's Soo-young, and you're driving around in South Korea. You're going from Gapyeong to Seoul. You're going to Yeongdeungpo, you know, and you don't have to drive that fast. And they also, they're pretty, how should I say, they're pretty strict about the speed limits over there. So, you know, me personally, I'd rather have an electric vehicle in that case. It's like, you know, it's funny because I was listening just now, and I might as well just talk about it since I just, you know, started ranting. I just started rolling right into it. So I'm listening to them, and they still complain. I'm not going to name names. Still complaining about the Dodge Charger electric vehicle. Oh, well, they could have just put the Hurricane engine out instead, and oh, they're way behind on. Okay, first of all, as I already pointed out, Stellantis doesn't give a shit about Americans or how you feel about, how should I say, muscle cars, if you want to call them, because that's basically a marketing term. It, you know, it has no real world meaning. It's basically like a marketing term that just means that you put an engine that's more powerful than this car is really supposed to have, and you put that into something smaller. So anything can be a muscle car as long as you are overpowering it to some ridiculous extent. Bottom line is, Stellantis, they're a Dutch, Netherlands, these people have no respect at all for the American car market. They're out to make a quick profit. Y'all should have realized back when Sergio, and it's funny because I never hear anybody talk bad about Sergio Marconi. When Sergio Marconi, when they took over, and they forced Chrysler to start dropping specific models. They forced Dodge Chrysler to start, and I'm looking at this shit and I'm like, okay, this is your restructuring plan, but you're trying to replace these cars. You're trying to replace them with Fiat and stuff that we don't want. Fiats are small. Like if you look in this lot right now, this is just a random lot with people shopping. You're going to be hard pressed to find a Fiat in this lot, right? You're going to be hard pressed. We are Americans. We don't live on little-ass streets in France. We don't live on little-ass streets in the backyards of England or Westeros or whatever it is. We don't live there. We are America. We've got huge cars because we're huge people. We're not little people. And they're trying to sell Mini. I remember when BMW, they bring all this Mini. And it's like, we don't want that shit. Mini? What the fuck? It's like, listen. Yeah, there's a handful of little Paris Hilton looking girls in maybe Manhattan or California who might buy something like this. But the whole vast majority of us, we don't want that little ass shit. Same thing goes for Fiat. That goes for Mini. The same thing goes for anything else that you can think of, one of these little ass compact cars. It's funny, if you even compare like the older Toyotas, the older Hondas, you look at an old Honda Civic, like an old one, and you compare that to what they're making now. The Honda Civic has grown considerably. You compare like the oldest Prius to the newest Prius. The newest Prius has grown considerably. You compare any of these old cars to these new cars, these things have grown considerably. We're big people. We're not going to be squeezed up into these little ass bullshit cars. We're just not doing it. And if you try to push that onto a market, we're not going to buy it. Alfa Romeo doesn't sell well. I mean, yeah, there's a couple of girls who buy them because they're on lease and everything, but those don't sell well. Mini don't sell well. Fiat don't sell well. Giancarlo Esposito, he had a brand new commercial out, and they're trying to move these Fiats. And they put out like a brand new Fiat 500. And initially, the sales are strong because, a couple of them get sold here and there. But in the long run, nobody buys those things. Nobody wants them. They're too small and they're stupid. It's like if we're going to buy a small compact crossover or something, we're going to look at one of these Honda HRVs, or we're going to look at a Honda CRV. And even that Honda HRV, that's a relatively big car. Like, that thing is bigger than like older Hondas. Take a look. What the fuck? Somebody fighting over here? Oh no, they're just playing on their bikes. But yeah, even if you look at these new Honda Accords, those things have grown considerably. Like this one right there. Those things have grown considerably. Americans don't want little cars. That's part of the reason why the sedans, 4-door sedans, full-size sedans, the market for those fell through the floor because everybody started buying crossovers and everybody started buying SUVs. But see, very few car companies were willing to make not only a large sedan, but a large four-door sedan that had a lot of power. That's where Dodge was winning. They were the only people making what they were making, and their product was completely different than the rest of the market. If you look at all the rest of these cars are basically designed the exact same way. It's like the rear ends of most of these cars, they look the exact same. The front ends of these cars, a lot of them look the exact same way, with the exception of the corporate grille. Dodge was the one company that was making stuff that totally stood out. Now, it's over. So that new electric Charger, yeah, it does probably stand out when you see it. To me, it looks like an old SXT. It looks like a base model. Because the problem is, what Dodge basically did was they started making all of their top-end models have these aggressive hoods and aggressive wheels and aggressive brakes and everything. But with that Charger EV, there's like nothing aggressive about it. And because of the fact that aerodynamics is king when it comes to making something like this, like an electric car, there's only a certain amount of aggressiveness that you could put into it. You can't put the aggressiveness into it that you get out of a Hellcat or a Demon. You're not getting hood scoops. You're not getting forward-facing hood scoops. You're just not getting it. And the problem is they made that product too good. They gave it too much power. They made it look too good. They made it too aggressive. So now all you can do is go back. You peaked. That's what they say. You peaked. There's nowhere to go. They weren't going to, like, I really thought, I was like, oh, they're going to make a Elephant Charger or a Elephant Challenger or a Elephant 300. They didn't do none of that shit. They said, no, well, the emissions regulations say we can't do it. You could buy the engine and do it yourself, but that shit ain't never going to work right. And sure enough, you've seen a couple of people squeeze those crate engines into these cars, even the Hellcat engine, and they have a lot of problems. Those cars end up, with a lot of issues. So if you're a mechanic, yeah, you can probably do it. You could probably fix it yourself, and you could probably keep it running yourself. But nah, man, nobody wants that shit. They want to walk into that factory. They want to walk into that dealership, and they want to drive out with a production car. That's what they want. They want a production car. They don't want street not legal cars. That's not what they want. They want street legal production cars. People want to go right into the dealership, throw down some money, and drive out with like a powerful car. Those days are over. It's over. It's just over. And I'm listening to these YouTubers crying, oh, Dodge, why do you have to do this to the Hurricane? The Hurricane is in the Grand Wagoneer, and it's not doing that well. It's terrible. It's like, yeah, these guys, man. It's like, listen, at a certain point, like, it's easy to tell when a company basically gives up on its consumer. It's easy to tell. Dodge done gave up on you. Dodge gave up on you. Chrysler gave up on you. And that's just it. And the sad thing is, their workmanship and their reliability was also slipping at the exact same time that now you're seeing. It's like, yeah, first of all, you can't get what you want, and even if you get something from them, the shit's not reliable, and you're having all these quality issues with these cars now. You know, it's like, it just doesn't make sense. But people are so desperate to waste money that they want to throw their money at this shit. And the problem is, at this point, now there's nothing to throw money at. You know? That's just what it is. They've left you with nothing. They've left you without, they took their money and they ran and they left you with nothing. That's a damn shame. Damn shame. Even Hyundai, look at that. That's one of those new Hyundai Sonatas. Me personally, I don't like the direction that Hyundai has gone with their styling. I liked the second Sonata that they made after 2000. In fact, I liked the 2009 Sonata, and then the one they made right after that I liked. But right after that, I think they went wild. It was like they started like just going crazy with the styling, and I wasn't very happy with the way they went or the direction that they went. But what I can say is they're still making a relatively solid car. They're still making a relatively solid car. I remember with the Genesis. Genesis put out a V8 to compete with the Hemi, the R-Spec Genesis. I remember that. And that wasn't a bad car. Like, Hyundai, I have to say, when it came to, how should I say, reliability or workmanship, I would trust Hyundai over Chrysler any day. You know, and especially when it comes down to the ownership, because under Stellantis, I don't like them motherfuckers at all. But when it was FCA, it wasn't so bad. You know, like anytime I would bring my cars in, I didn't really have much trouble getting them fixed. But with Stellantis, man, what was it? A couple of years, I think it was like 3 years ago, I put my car in, and I do understand that there was some issue. I can't remember what it was. But my car sat there on their lot, and it was like I don't know if games were being played or if there wasn't enough communication. But man, my car sat in that lot. I'd never been without my Jeep for that long. That was the first time. Then I think a year later, I had an issue with the the alternator, and the alternator caused me to bring it to them. They found some other issues that they said they had to do. Like they said there was some gaskets or something. And what was it? I think there was also a spark plug issue, if I'm not mistaken. Bottom line is, at a certain point, it was like they let those cars just sit on the lot, and my battery died, and then they wanted to give me some shit about the battery. And then another issue that I had was whether or not they would give me a loaner car. And I was like, wait a minute. I spend 85. Yeah, you saw what happened. The emergency brakes on that cart kicked right in, and it just went, and it stopped. Oh, they have the Prologue. This lady, she got the Prologue right there. Okay, that's interesting. She got the Prologue. But anyway, I was wondering. I'm like, okay, are they gonna give me a loaner car? And these people, it didn't matter how much money you spend. It was like, unless you had just bought a car from them, it was like they just didn't care. And I was like, nah, man, I'm not renting a car from freaking Enterprise when it's going to cost me a lot of money. And then you only get a small fraction of that money back. I was like, yo, I'm done with Stellantis. And there's people who criticize me. I don't give a fuck about your criticism. And the bottom line is, I'm the one writing the checks. When you're writing the checks for the shit I'm driving, that's when you can criticize it. Other than that, I don't want to hear it. So the bottom line is, I was disgusted with their service. And I made videos about it. I already made videos about it a long time ago, whether you saw them or not. I was disgusted with their service. And I had it in my mind. I was like, you know what? I'm either going to Cadillac or Mercedes next. But I'm done with you guys. I'm done. I was disgusted with their service. Disgusted. And part of that, I can tell, was Stellantis. Because now Stellantis knows how fucked up the reliability in these cars, especially the Jeeps. Because the Jeeps, I've noticed, always have issues. Whether it's the transmission, they had a lot of problems with the 9-speed. They've had problems with the, they've always had little issues. Things that shouldn't take a very long time to fix. But Stellantis knew that. And then they started these policies where they made it like hell just trying to get a rental Or no, I shouldn't say a rental. They made it hell trying to get a loaner. And in the last time I had to put my Jeep into service, when I had my engine out, and I took pictures of that shit, if it hadn't been for the store manager or the manager, the sales manager, and he had to go to service and speak directly to them, and it was like, yeah, it was taking them forever to fix my Jeep. I was like, yo, man, this shit is insane. And then the problem is, if there's something not wrong with the car, chances are you can't just take it and sell it. It's not as easy as just, saying, oh yeah, I'm just going to take the car, drive somewhere, and I'm going to trade it in. It's not that simple. So I'm like, nah, man, I was done with that shit. So it bewilders me, the number of these people who are still waiting for these shitty ass, like these marked up, crazy ass markups on these freaking Hellcats, and these crazy ass markups on any of these cars. I'm like, why are you doing that? Why are you waiting for these cars? It's like, go buy one of them freaking stupid Audis, or go buy one of these BMWs, or go get a Honda Pilot or some shit. But I'm like, why would you be throwing away your money to these played out old ass cars? These cars are like 12, 13 years old. It's like these things are played out. And y'all lined up like sheep trying to buy one of these things. I'm like, yo, it's like, you can do whatever you want. The thing about it is, now the insurance company is up your ass. They're making it so you can't afford nothing. And if it's not the insurance company, it's the markups, the MSRPs. They basically made it so, yeah, everybody walk in there thinking, oh yeah, I got good credit, I got money. They walk out of there crying. Or they walk out of there with a scat pack. And they're paying $80,000 for a scat pack. Those things shouldn't be worth a dime over $45,000. Maybe even $40,000. They got these people paying $80,000 for this shit. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But that's the market right now. That's the market. And that's why, they can talk bad about EVs all they want. The thing about it is, in the cities, EVs are selling just fine. They're selling just fine. And Teslas are selling just fine. Like, Tesla got a 1.9% lease on some of their cars, the Model 3 and Model Y. It's like, nah, Tesla ain't worried about that. Tesla got their charging network. Tesla's selling just fine. EV sales are down this quarter. It's like, they ain't worried about that shit. Tesla got more money. You got to understand the market caps. Tesla's got more money than GM, Ford, and Stellantis combined. In fact, GM, Stellantis, and Ford combined, that's $160 billion. Tesla's worth over $640 billion. So Tesla got more money than GM, Ford, Stellantis, Mercedes, and BMW combined. And less debt, because they don't have the dealer network. So, yeah, man, they can talk all shit they want. The bottom line is, what does they say? Money talks and bullshit walks. All right, so this is perfect. Both of the BZ4X Toyotas are leaving at the same time. One, you got this Korean guy here, and he's a cab driver, TLC. And you got that one over there, and he's leaving at the same time. Now, I always specifically go for the ends. Now, that's the fast charger, so since I usually go for that side, and that's the slow charger, this time I'm going to go to the fast charger. So I'm at 138 miles, which is roughly 50% of my battery. It's actually a little less than 50%. So what I'm doing is preparing for this week. Watch out for the cart. Yeah, I'm preparing for this week. So what is it? Today is Monday, Labor Day, and what is it? If I charge right now, which I am, it's like I probably won't have to charge again until probably about Sunday. And either Sunday or Saturday. So either one of those days is acceptable to me. Yeah, so here we go. Yeah, sun just went down. It was a nice day today. 74 degrees now. It's starting to get cooler. It's starting to get noticeably cooler. So we're running out of the summer. Summer's damn near over. I think the last day of summer is like, what is it, like September 23rd or something. Yeah. So, yeah. All right, so just negotiate the charging session. Okay, in use, blah, blah, blah. All right. My light didn't come on, so I think I may have to activate it on the app first. Sometimes you gotta activate it on the app. But it says 1 kilowatt charger plugged in. It says charge cord connected. Yeah, sometimes you actually have to do this one on the app first and then you plug it in. But those over there, those usually recognize me right away. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna disconnect it and I'm gonna charge it. I'm gonna do the app first. I'm gonna go on the app first. Yeah, there it is. All I had to do is I had to go on the app and let it know that I specifically wanted to use the right side B instead of A. And as soon as I did that, now it's connecting. So then you see the blue light. Once the blue light turns green and you'll hear a beep, and that means it's charging. Takes about 10 seconds. There you go. So right now it starts charging, and because this is the fast charger, I'll charge up a little faster. Because I've noticed with these BZ4Xs and these little Kia Niros, these things have slow charging. My car is fast. I have 19 kilowatt AC charging. Even this Prologue is a GM product. This is a BEV platform, so he charges just about as fast as I do. Not as fast, but just about. So yeah, these BZ4Xs, man, you do not want to get stuck behind them shits when it comes to charging, because it takes them longer than anybody else. Now, I'm looking for the Acura ZDX who was here. I guess he just said, he came here, he looked around, he said, fuck it. But if he had just waited, like, I don't know, 10 more minutes, that person right there would have left and he'd have been over there. But he chose not to wait, so it's like, whatever. I ain't hating on him. It's nice and peaceful out here. So basically, when we get to winter is coming. As long as the temperature is not too low, you know, I'll be out here on Sundays or Saturdays or something, maybe Fridays, because I'll basically charge once a week, and I'll be out here. But, you know, I never really had an issue with the temperature dropping too low. I never really had that issue. It wasn't too bad for me. But, again, if we have, like, any winter storms, or if these chargers ever were to go out because there's a major winter storm and it knocks out the electricity in the area, I can charge at home. You know? And then somebody, oh, well, what happens if your home power goes out? Well, then I'll take my shit and I'll drive over to my other house and I'll charge there. It's like, I got options. See, the people who I think are the most resistant to electric vehicles are the people, number one, who don't have houses. Number two, you see like these condominiums, you see these condos and these apartments and everything, because this place over here is like a mixture of condos, garden apartments, and regular apartments and condos and stuff. I don't know if they have their own chargers inside there. But the thing about it is some apartment complexes are starting to build with electric vehicle charging in mind. Now, my thinking is the smartest thing they could probably do is just get the Tesla's chargers. And the reason why is because everybody else can simply get adapters to use the Tesla chargers. The thing about it is the Tesla chargers are the most standardized of any of these charging systems, because all of the Teslas basically work and charge the exact same way. So that's what I would do, you know? But I don't know. The people who are the most resistant to electric vehicles, those are the people who are like, they have like no house and they live in apartment complexes. I totally understand that. Listen, you can keep driving them shitty ass bullshit little ass fucking hybrids and little ass clown cars. Listen, don't worry. I'm not begrudging against you. You can keep driving fucking Priuses, them old ass Priuses. Pay that shit off. Keep driving that shit. Oh yeah, my Prius got 300,000 miles on it. Yo, congratulations. You're saving so much money. Congratulations. But it's like, you won't catch me in one of them shits. You You won't catch me in one, not at all. I could not eat green eggs and ham. Sam, I am. It's like, no way. It's nice out here. It's nice out here. It's not cool. It's not hot. It's not cold. It's not hot. It's nice out here. 70, what is it, 74? Nice out here. Sun's going down. You get to watch the sunset. Hey, stop speeding, asshole. Donor cycles. Where do you think we're going to get extra kidneys and extra livers from? We're going to get it from the donor cycles. The donor cycles. When you're a motorcycle rider, you might as well tell them your blood type, and you might as well tell them, take my organs and help these little children who need eyes and who need like livers. You might as well. I see a Honda Prologue just pulled up, another one. So now I got a white Honda Prologue, you got a black Honda Prologue just pull up. Yeah, I guess the Honda Prologues must be starting to sell. I guess Honda, they must have had a sale on them or something for the summer. I don't know. But that's good. See this lady. She's going to get out and see her plug in. Let's see this lady. Yeah. It's a little slow. It's like, hurry up. Yeah, but the charging speed that I'm seeing is 107 kilowatts. So I went straight from 50 to 64 within just a couple of minutes. Oh, there she is. I missed her. But anyway, yeah, I went straight from 50 to 64 in just a couple of minutes of sitting. So yeah, I'll be done soon. It's no big deal. I could go into Target, but I think I already got everything I need from Target for this week, so I'm good. Sometimes I'll go into, especially, when winter comes, I definitely will probably, when I come to charge, I'll definitely time it so that I always have to come when my groceries run low, like when my milk runs low or something like that. But a lot of times I'll just come to Target, I'll go into the bathroom while I'm charging, I'll take a big shit and refill my water bottle and everything, and everything works out just nicely. It's just like at the other charger. The other charger was a much worse situation because it was only 2 chargers and they could only handle like just 2 cars at a time. And then they opened up this one, and this one is much better because you can basically get 6 cars at a time for the most part. And I'm totally enjoying this charger. Now, hopefully they hurry up and open some more because I heard that they opened one in Coney Island. And hopefully they have, I heard there's one in Astoria. I heard there's a new charger in Astoria opening up, and it hasn't been activated yet. They built it, but they haven't activated it yet. So I'm a little, interested in seeing that one. Maybe if I'm ever over in Astoria, maybe I'll go there and I'll check it out when it finally does open. But that's the thing, EVgo under GM. Yeah, they need to expand this stuff as much as possible. Because, see, Tesla already understood that was the plan. Tesla understood. They're like, yeah, we got to make as many superchargers as possible. But now you got these Dodge Charger EVs coming to market. Now, God knows how many of them are actually going to sell. But the thing about it is with the Dodge Charger EVs, and you got all of these new EV models coming to market, it's like, yeah, you're going to have to make... I would say that take the number of chargers in America right now, and we need about 5 times more. Now, some people, you can't do that. Yes, we could. If you stop giving money to Israel and you stop giving money to Ukraine, you'd be surprised what we could do. They just opened up a brand new nuclear reactor down south. I think it was Georgia or something like that. It was on the East Coast. I'm like, yeah, you'd be surprised what we could build if you stop giving money to these foreign wars and bullshit. Yeah, you'd be surprised what we could do. We could put these EV charges everywhere with that kind of money, with the money we waste and steal and squander in order to pay other people's freaking pensions and shit in other countries. You'd be surprised how much we could build. Yeah, this guy with this Rivian, I told him to come over here because I'm about to be done. I'm at 95 right now, so I'm about to leave. So, yeah, just a couple of minutes and I'm out. So, I know you want to get in on this fast charger. Yeah, that's about it for tonight. I'm about done, so I'm about to leave. All right, so tonight is September 4th. It is 9:21. I want to make a very, very, very quickie. This is not going to be long. I want to make a very, very quickie update about the current market. So first things first, one of the things that I noticed is I passed by a gas station today. It was just a random gas station on the street, and I noticed that gas was at about $3.44. I think in another one it was about $3.50. So it's obvious that the Democrats right now in power are doing everything they can to keep gas prices as low as possible prior to the election. Summer is also ending, so I have to mention the fact that gas prices have also come down, partially because the use of summer blend fuel has decreased. I was reading about oil prices. They claim that they were coming down, but the mere fact is gas is still $3.40 or $3.50 for premium unleaded per gallon. As far as I'm concerned, that's still high. But they're claiming that gas may be coming down and oil may be coming down because they think that the Chinese economy is slowed. They think that, and basically that's, when they say that they think the Chinese economy is slowed down or they think that the American economy is slowed down, that's basically a way of them just saying, yeah, we're in recession. That's basically what it comes down to. There's a number of issues that I've noticed. For example, I got my defensive driver, I guess you could call it a certificate, in the mail. And insurance costs have gone up. Car prices are still high. The MSRPs on most of the desirable cars are still high. Markups on desirable cars are still high. So there's a lot of people who normally would be driving a car who can't afford to drive a car. You may have also heard there's like several dozen YouTubers talking about the fact that repossessions are up. If repossessions are up and car sales have declined and house sales have declined, then that tells you right there that there's something wrong with the freaking economy. The other thing that tells you there's something wrong with the economy is credit card debt. The average credit card debt across U.S. households is sky high. It's over $1 trillion. So you add in 1.2 or whatever it is at the given time, $1 trillion of credit card debt for the average American households put together. Then you add in $1.8 trillion worth of student loans. And then you add in the fact that houses are, no matter how you want to slice it, they're unaffordable. Everybody's waiting for the Federal Reserve's Jerome Powell to come out and talk about how he's going to cut rates and everything. How can the Biden and Harris administration pretend that this is anything more than a failure? Like, their economy is a failure. Like, you don't hear them use the word Bidenomics anymore, but it's a failure. Now, what I will say, and I've said this a long time ago, it doesn't really matter who the president is. The Dow Jones is just an average of like a few dozen chosen companies, right? So when you're looking at the Dow Jones, now the Dow Jones, obviously it hit records. Basically, it went past 40,000. Dow 40,000. I remember when Jim Cramer was going crazy about Dow 15,000 way back in 2008 or 2009, or right before the economic crash. But the thing about it is the Dow is going to continue to go up. This is not a good way to measure the strength of the economy. The Dow has gone up, as you can see, since 2014. And if you look at the entire thing since well, this only shows the 1990s right here. But if you look at the entire Dow, it has done nothing but go up. Now, some people would argue, yeah, that this is a function of inflation. And some people would also argue that, and I think the more correct thing to think about is the fact that the chosen companies on the Dow are mostly the Magnificent Seven and very big, very powerful companies. You have Microsoft, for example, with over $3 trillion. You have Apple with over $3 trillion. You have Nvidia with over $2.6 trillion. You have Google with over $1.9 trillion, which will probably be $2 trillion within the next couple of weeks. Because you have to remember, Google and Amazon, we're entering Christmas shopping season. We're entering Black Friday sales. We're entering Christmas sales. So for the most part, these corporations are so big, so powerful that they can't do anything but go up. Look at Tesla, for example. I was arguing with people in my family about buying Tesla stock. And I was like, listen, Tesla is the best at what they do. They may make, relatively cheap interior, with quality problems and all that. The bottom line is Tesla has a supercharger network. Nobody else has that in America. Tesla is literally sitting at the top of what they do. They are the quintessential EV maker. It's like their cars are basic as fuck, but the thing about it is nobody else does it like they do, and nobody else has that supercharger network in America. So for the most part, that's their ace in the hole. That's the gold mine. Elon Musk has slowed the adoption of other cars into the Tesla supercharger network, and I'm pretty sure he did that on purpose. But the thing about it is, over time, that is coming. And when you add the supercharger network to electric vehicles in general, it basically triples the amount of chargers that you have access to overnight. So we're still waiting to see that happen. Right now, it's basically just Ford and Rivian, I think, that have adopted it. But the bottom line is, yeah, their stock dips, but their stock goes right back up. Tesla was worth less than $700 billion a few days ago. Right now, it's worth $700 billion, and it's been worth more than that. Tesla is worth more than Ford, Stellantis, Mercedes, BMW, and GM. If you combine all of those companies, Tesla is actually worth more than all of them, thanks to the market cap. $700 billion. GM, Ford, and Stellantis, they're only worth like $160 billion. And after this market went to the right, I think they're worth less than $150 billion if you actually really look at it. So, long story short, the reason why the market's in the red, I believe they're basically saying that it has to do with the chip and AI market. Now, first of all, Apple is about, because we're only a couple of days away, Apple's about to uncover the iPhone 16 and whatever other new products they got. I'm probably going to buy the iPhone 16 as long as they have 2 terabytes of storage. I'm going to pre-order the iPhone 16. And I'm also strongly considering maybe ordering a pair of EarPod Pros 3rd generation. I skipped the first 2 generations because I knew that whatever problems they had, they would work it out. The AirPods don't fit in my ears properly, but the EarPod Pros, because of the way they're designed, I think I'd have more luck with those. But when I go to the Apple store, first I'm going to, get the iPhone 16. And what I might do is I might ask them to give me a demo where I get to use the EarPods and see whether or not I actually want them. Because that's like adding like $200 or $300 or whatever to the purchase price or whatever. So I definitely am not going to upgrade my Apple Watch because as far as I'm concerned, the Apple Watch Ultra 2, even if they make the screen bigger, as far as I'm concerned, this watch is perfect just the way it is. I took this thing over to Bali. I took it to Singapore. I swam with it constantly. I stayed in the water for hours at a time, like until my skin started to turn pruny. And the Apple Watch Ultra was fantastic. It never, ever, ever in any way disappointed. So as far as I'm concerned, I can keep this watch for 3 or 4, maybe even 5 years. And I don't have to upgrade anytime soon. I don't see any point. But Apple is about to do all this on September 10th. They're about to show us all their new products that, we're going to be interested in. And I think that Apple is going to definitely, within the next couple of days, Apple's going to see a boost in their stock price. Microsoft quietly releases whatever new stuff they have. They don't really do it like Apple. They don't do it loud and boisterously. But the thing about it is, as I've always said, Microsoft is a dividend-paying stock, and they have businesses, companies, schools. They've got everybody locked into their products. Microsoft Office in and of itself. And that's before you start talking about Xbox Live and you start talking about the other services, the cloud services they have. So, Google, Amazon, these things are in the red right now, but they're definitely going to be back up. So I'm not worried about them. Intel, one thing you have to remember about Intel's an Israeli corporation. And I believe, and they're obviously not going to ever tell you the truth, but I believe that this war in Gaza has had an impact on Intel's operations. Not only that, I also believe that the proxy wars that we've got with Russia and China, the economic proxy war that we've got with the sanctions and everything, I think that's also having a negative impact on Intel. Thing about it is, Intel ain't going nowhere. In fact, of all the processors that I can buy for a computer, I'm not buying anything else but Intel because I know that the quality's impeccable. I still use an Intel workstation grade extreme CPU, and this thing is old, but it still works extremely well. And for the most part, when I do build a new computer, I'm going to get the 15900K i9, and it's going to have liquid cooling. I'm going to wait until the 5090 series NVIDIA GPU comes out, and I'm going to get the new card. And that's when I'm going to build my computer. I'm going to get that. Once I got my hands on that 5090, that's when I'm going to build the rest of the computer. So I'll buy all the parts and build the new tower. But Intel, as many people who would probably boycott Intel because it's Israeli, I have to say that that's literally the best processor quality you're going to get. I'm not a fan of AMD's processors. They are not as powerful. They may have more cores and whatnot, but when it comes to quality, reliability over time, I'm sorry, Intel's got the win on that. The computer I'm using right now is old, and I have a brand new laptop that I took with me, but I haven't even seen a need to buy a new computer because my computer works so well that I haven't even had a need to buy a new one, and that right there tells me that the quality is impeccable. I've had a bunch of Intel processors, all of my old computers, they work perfectly to this day. So no, it's like, I'm not going to boycott just for the fact that they're connected to Israel. I'm still going to get a 15900K because it's just the best of the best. I'm sorry. So what else? You have AMD. AMD's creeping back up. AMD's at 140, but AMD, the high was, 227. Now, I'd been telling you about AMD and Logitech and Micron. Micron, as you can see, is $89. This is a strong buy. Right now is really the time to be bullish on these things. TSM, Taiwan Semiconductors, I was telling you about them way before it even hit like 80. And the thing about it is they have crept up so quickly thanks to NVIDIA. The investment into these things has been solid for a while. Now, obviously, again, the market's in the red. I was just looking at my portfolios on my computer. I'm down in one portfolio, I'm down $5,000. In another portfolio, I'm down $7,000. But here's the kicker. I'm up so much in Intel and NVIDIA because I bought these things while they were cheap. My NVIDIA alone, like forget the Intel, forget the AMD, forget the Micron, I'm up so much with NVIDIA that even a close to, like $13,000 loss in this market downturn. I'm up so much in NVIDIA that I don't even care about the market downturn. It's temporary. I buy, I hold. I'm not a day trader. I don't do options. I buy dividend-paying stocks and I hold. The only thing that will force me to switch from a dividend-paying stock to a different stock is if they suddenly stop paying a dividend. But for right now, the dividend payers I'm keeping. I'm not getting rid of any. I'm not dumping anything. They're trying to scare people out of the market. I don't fall for it because I've noticed that every single time we have a market downturn, if I stay still and I don't move and don't do anything, when the market turns back around, it goes even higher. And proof of that is the Dow itself. The Dow hit a high of 41,585 points. Now, the Dow is hitting those highs because the Magnificent Seven, specifically, these multi-trillion-dollar companies, they keep hitting these highs. So I'm not selling. I told you about AVGO. I told you to buy into those things, because, those dividend payers. I told you to get into those when you could, if you see an opportunity. And it's funny, broadband, after their split, the price of broadband had dropped, and then it came right back up. Where is it? AVGO, right. Broadband. The price actually dropped right after it split. And the price was, after the split, right after they did the split, the price was 182. It went as low as 136, and right now it's back to 154. So again, in the long run, AVGO, Broadcom, they're going to keep on rising. The thing that's missing, the component that's missing, however, is the drive to buy new computers and new smartphones. Right now, the smartphone market has been stagnant. Apple even said the iPhone 15 sales were down, but that's because he really didn't show us anything new. You just put out, a minor upgrade to the 14, and that's why I didn't buy an iPhone 15. If I didn't buy it, then I would have to imagine that a lot of the people's psychology, similar to me, they're like, well, wait a minute, I've already got this, so why should I buy that if there's nothing majorly better about it? So again, iPhone 16 better have 2 terabytes of storage, because otherwise I won't buy it. I will wait until iPhone 17. And within that year, there's a very good possibility my battery and my screen might need to be replaced. But the bottom line is, I'm not going to spend $2,000, or it's not really $2,000, it's more like $1,800 or something. I'm not going to spend $1,800 on a brand new smartphone unless they give me a good reason to do it. So I'm waiting for September 10th. I'm really anxious to see what they come up with, but it better be good, because otherwise I'm not going to buy. So we'll see what happens. There are a couple of other companies. I think the important thing to do is take a look at oil. But you know what? I would be remiss if I didn't mention Bitcoin. I posted on my community chat about these cryptocurrencies, how far down they are. I remember Ethereum was it was pushing 4,000 something, and Bitcoin, we're finally going to 100,000. Oh my God, we're finally there. We're going to the moon. We're going to Pluto. And they shouting, everybody's just wild and everything when Michael Saylor is buying up all this Bitcoin, pushing the price up artificially and everything. Well, right now it's, back below 60,000. If there is any level of economic downturn, you could quickly see these numbers drop even more. I just want you, and there's a reason why I keep these things together like this so that it's easy to talk about them. I just want to remind you, all of the promises that they made for these things, when all of these Bitcoin whales who got in the very beginning of the Ponzi scheme, and all these crypto whales, when they got in the beginning of these Ponzi schemes, individual Ponzi schemes, I just want to remind you that every single target they've missed. I want to remind you that every single promise that they made, they've missed. You've watched television, you've watched the internet the same way I did. They were promising us that back in 2020, Bitcoin was going to be like $100,000. There was some of these people who were saying it was going to be $1 million by now. Now, keep in mind, we're about to enter 2025 very soon. It's not that, what is this, the beginning of September, and we've already had 2 school shootings. We got one in Georgia. Now, tomorrow, it's back to school. This is back to school week. You got one school shooting in Georgia, and then you've got in the Bronx, a teacher was shot through a window in a school in the Bronx. So all of these targets, these price targets, all of them they've missed. They were promising us that this shit was supposed to, all these, oh my goodness, Dogecoin's going to be $1. It's going to be $1.75. All this. None of that happened. They promised us that. They promised us Shiba Inu. Oh my God, how do I forget about Shiba Inu? They were promising us that there'd be yacht parties and that we'd be partying with Shiba on the submarine. And they were promising it was going to be like Goldfinger, like you got a solid gold yacht and it has got the helicopter landing on. They were making all these promises. None of that shit came true. How many of these fake-ass YouTube gurus, how many of these fake Fox business news people, how many of these fake MSNBC, all of these quote-unquote professionals, all of them were making all these fake claims and all this bullshit and lies. And the entire time, I was like, yo, this is bullshit. Don't put your money there. Put your money in these stocks. Get this. I said, bet on oil. I said, what is it? I'm an oil man. I said, bet on these chips. Them oil stocks are let me tell you something. Them oil stocks, that's the reason why right now, sitting outside my driveway, that's the reason why there's an electric Cadillac sitting right there. I'm going to say it just like that. Them oil stocks put that electric Cadillac. Brand new electric Cadillac sitting right out there. When I'm driving around in my electric Cadillac, there are other people who don't have electric Cadillacs. They're up there looking at my car because my car is big and silver and the wheels are big and chrome and it's silver and chrome and the thing is huge. And it's a big silver chrome car. It looks like Tywin Lannister's rolling around in that thing. I was on the road earlier today. There was a dude who had a blue Lyric. And he had the little wheels. He had the little 20s. I was like, no, bro. I didn't get no 20s. I got 22s. Why? Because I'm an oil man. The oil stocks put that electric Cadillac outside in my yard. And who knows? The next one might be the Vistique or the Escalade IQ. I don't know. But oil stocks did that. Now, I didn't get nothing from Bitcoin. Because I thought, my Bitcoin is going to be $1 billion by now. No, that didn't happen. What else? Let's see. Oil was the first one. I was like, yo, listen, these oil stocks are going negative. You need to buy that shit now. That was 2020. People were pulling out of the market. They were trying to they were trying to count their money. They were trying to pull their money into the mattress and everything. Everybody was terrified. I wasn't terrified. I was out there having the time of my life. The cops were afraid. The cops were afraid that if they pulled people over, they could catch COVID by talking to you. I'm out there doing 80, 90, 100. I'm driving from my house to my mama's house at like 100 and something miles an hour every single day because there's nobody on the road. Everybody's home afraid. I was like, what did they say? They say when there's blood in the street, buy property. They say, what is Warren Buffett? He says, be greedy when everyone else is fearful and be fearful when everybody else is greedy. That's what he said. That's what he lives by. And he's right. I'm out there having the time of my life. Everybody's home hugging their children. I have to protect you. I can't let you go to school because you're going to get COVID. I got to keep grandma comfortable because she might get COVID. I got to make sure I cover my mask. I got to put my mask on so grandma don't get COVID. Everybody's home scared. You had the media filled your mind with fear. Not me. I was out there having a good time. The cops, there weren't even any cops out there. The cops were terrified. They didn't want to pull nobody over. Like, it was funny because there was a couple of cops out there on the road who I guess they had to go to work. And I'd be behind them and they try to brake check me because they knew I was speeding. But they didn't even bother trying to pull me over. Like, that shit was amazing. You could get from here to Manhattan in like 20 minutes because I was doing like top speed. It's amazing. Just amazing. Those are the good old days. Now, like, you go to Manhattan, I could go there any time of the day and find a park because everybody had it was like the streets was like, what was it, like Will Smith, I Am Legend? There was nobody there. I made a video. I made so many videos. It was like in the street. There was like nobody there. You could go there and get a park anywhere you wanted. You could park illegally, and the meter maids were afraid to come after you because they were afraid they could catch COVID. I was having a good fucking time. I thrive in chaos. Meanwhile, that Bitcoin shit, that shit didn't go nowhere. What happened? What happened? Oh, Bitcoin going to be $1 million by 2022. What happened? What happened? And it's funny because I got these people, the detractors, every now and then they pop their heads up. They're like, you gonna really eat your words when it finally does happen. I'm like, yeah, okay. Right. Yeah, I won't hold my breath. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Uh-huh. What happened to XRP? Nobody even talks about that no more. I was watching some of these dudes' pages and they having XRP breakout parties and all this. Oh yeah, we won the lawsuit. We going to the moon. We're going to Pluto. I don't feel like I'm on Pluto. It feels like you're still worth less than a candy bar, XRP. You didn't even go, what happened? Huh? Nothing, huh? Nope. Nope. Nothing happened. See, the difference is, you remember when the government was handing out them welfare checks and they were giving these kids welfare checks during COVID and these kids were reinvesting that or I hate to say the word reinvesting. I'm going to say the word gambling. You remember when they were gambling on, what was it? GameStop and, what was it? AMC, and they were putting their money in Bitcoin. You remember how Robinhood suddenly became the go-to place to trade? Robinhood was for children, letting children play on Robinhood with their government welfare checks. Well, guess what? The government handed you that money, and you idiots handed it right back to them. And then they crashed the market. And then they paused the market so you couldn't even stop the trading. What was that? Where's AMC and GameStop? Oh, gee, where are they right now? Let's see. I just want to remind myself, because I was like the only person speaking out against that shit. Let's see. Where are they? Where's AMC? Oh, $4.07. Wow, yeah, that was some breakout. How about GameStop? GameStop went, what was this? This was a pump and then the dump. 48.75. What was it now? Oh shit. $22. Oh man, I think I just lost half my money. Yeah, that's right. So, yep, that's what it was. I kept trying to tell people. Nobody listened. Airbnb, same shit. I remember when them Redditors and I put all of those together because I saw those Redditors going after. I was like, wait a minute. None of this shit is profitable. None of them pay a dividend because they can't. There's no profit. I mean, why are you investing in BlackBerry? Like, they're done. Apple killed them. Nope, can't tell these people nothing. I can't believe I had people calling me up because they were so excited about all the media hype. AMC to the moon. GameStop to Pluto. Rocket ship, golden hands and all that bullshit. Where are they now? Now, what was I saying? I was saying man-goat. I was saying Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Google, oil stocks with dividends, Amazon, Tesla. And then I added it, what was it? AMD, Micron. I was talking about man-goat. I had somebody make fun of me. They were like, yeah, how's Man-Throat doing? Well, it's doing a hell of a lot better than this bullshit that y'all went into. Yeah, that's how it's doing. It's doing a hell of a better. All of the companies I picked are fucking $1 trillion companies now. How's AMC doing? Yeah, that's my question. How's AMC doing? Exactly. Amazing. It's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But you can trick people into anything. You know, when you're MSNBC or Fox Business News or you're, these fakes on YouTube who pay money. Oh, here in my garage, I got this Lamborghini. Yeah, it's like you can trick people into anything. It's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Here in my garage, I got this Lamborghini. But you know what's more important than Lamborghinis? Books. You got to read. Because you got to get that knowledge. Yeah, right. Where's that guy? Where's he at now? I don't know. Where's that guy at now? He sucking that money out of some of these people. Got his Ponzi scheme going. his pyramid scheme going, his MLM going, and then he just disappeared. Where is he now? I'm pretty sure he's probably rich, but, the whole point of this isn't supposed to be to steal as much money as possible and then run. That's not how it's supposed to work. You're kind of supposed to set up a good service that people want to invest in. But no, these people don't think like that. So anyway, oil stocks, when you look at oil, you see all of these oil stocks in the red. Now, I don't know what's going to, and I'm going to get ready to end because I promised this wouldn't be long. I don't even know how long I've been, but it's 9:51. But anyway, Kamala Harris is an idiot. First of all, it really bothers me that Kamala Harris is a media invention. I don't believe any of the polls at all. The same polls told, she's ahead 5 points, 8 points. And they were saying the same shit about Hillary. And we saw how that turned out. Because the game is not about polls. It's not about popularity. The game is about winning the Electoral College. The vast majority of America ain't happy. They can't afford houses. They can't afford their cars. Their insurance keeps going up. The border is a mess. You've got these immigrants literally coming into states and taking over apartment buildings like in Colorado or Arizona or whatever it was. The majority of this country ain't happy. Bottom line is, with Kamala Harris, this whole thing that she's talking about what is it? What did she say? She said that she wants to tax unrealized gains. The Democrats are pathetic. I think a lot of them are stupid. I don't know how these people get into office. I have to wonder if some of them ever read the Constitution, which they swear to defend when they actually take office. But a lot of these people are stupid. And they deserve to lose their seats. But taxing unrealized gains, that is first of all, it's unconstitutional. Second of all, even based on the laws that we have with income taxes, it's it's not even a legal law. It's illegal. It's unconstitutional and it's not legal. And they want to try to make that legal. Taxing unrealized gains means that the money that I have sitting that I have not pulled out of the market, they want to be able to tax that. These people are sick. And then what bothers me more than anything is tax it for what? So that you could send that money over to Israel? So you could keep blowing up them Palestinians? Or is it so you could tax this money and send it over to Ukraine so you could pay for the pensions of people I could give a damn about? Vladimir Putin ain't afraid of no Kamala Harris. Vladimir Putin is in office for the next 6 years, regardless whether Kamala or Trump wins. Vladimir Putin don't give a goddamn about either one of them. He doesn't care anything about who's sitting in the White House. Vladimir Putin certainly doesn't give a damn about Biden. So he damn sure don't give a damn about Kamala Harris. And I'll tell you that's a fact. But the thing about it is, you want to tax people's unrealized gains for what? You're $35 trillion in debt and growing. Taxing unrealized gains. What are you going to send my money over there so Zelensky can have a solid gold toilet? I don't get it. What are you trying to tax me for? It's not going to work. It's not going to pass. I already know that's not going to pass because even the Congress people are a bunch of criminals themselves. But even they know better than that. It's just like proposing term limits on Congress. They ain't passing that shit. What are you kidding? Yeah, you can propose it. Huh? Oh, yes, clap, clap, clap. That's brilliant. Blah, blah, blah. Now sit down. They ain't passing no shit like that. Yeah, they put term limits. I don't understand. And they did this before I was born. But how do you put term limits on the presidency and not force them to do it on the Congress simultaneously? And that right there is a clear impression. That's a violation of the Constitution itself. The Constitution never said nothing about term limits on the presidency. As far as they were concerned, term limits are if you're doing a bad job, you get impeached. And if you're doing a bad job, the people don't vote for you and you just lose. And that's it. There's mandatory retirement. They forced Biden out, and these stupid Democrat sheep, regardless whether you like Trump or not, these stupid Democrat sheep just went along with it. They just went along with it. You pulled a coup on this man. If Biden really wanted to step down, and you know he didn't because you know Jill wasn't going to let him step down. Jill wants to be called Dr. Jill. Now, she's going to go right back to being called Jill. Ain't nobody calling her Dr. I know I ain't. Dr. Jill. No, excuse me, Dr. Jill. If you're a real doctor, you see this bump on my leg, I need you to do something about that. That's a doctor. Other than that, I don't give a shit how many books you read. I don't give a goddamn what you studied. If you can't mend bone and tissue, you ain't no doctor. Period. I ain't calling you a fucking doctor. What are you kidding? So now, Jill's out. Dr. Jill is going to be out of office. That's what she's scared about. She's going to go right back to being nobody. Oh, well, I can't really say nobody. Of course, she's married to the greatest president ever. She's married to Biden, right? Yeah, right. Uh-huh. Yeah, you get to go back to being a nobody. Now, Kamala Harris is the greatest media invention I've ever seen. And the sad thing is, if you could pin her down. Now, keep in mind, she just did this bullshit interview on CNN. Bullshit. It was pre-recorded, for God's sakes. That tells you right there it's bullshit. If it's not live, that shit is fake. But anyway, this tax on unrealized gains, the Biden and Harris administration have done everything they could to ruin American energy independence. That's why I'm looking at this screen right now about the oil stocks in general. Oh, yeah, well, the reason why the food is so expensive is because of price gouging. No. These stores and corporations don't want to have to charge you more. Their entire business model revolves around them charging you less. The problem is, if you make energy expensive, energy is the ability to do all work. If you make energy more expensive, you make it harder for them to make a profit. So what they end up having to do is raise prices. Or they end up shrinking the amount of goods that we get. They call it shrinkflation. And they give us less while trying to charge us the same amount so that we psychologically don't turn on them. Even the dollar stores, because of the costs of living and the cost of inflation rise, the dollar stores have had to up the price on stuff. Now, the dollar stores, they wanted to keep this stuff cheap, but they couldn't because Dollar General had to close stores. Family Dollar had to close stores. They were literally doing what they could to sell us cheap products that we were willing to buy. And because you screwed with energy and you went after coal and you went after oil and you went after energy in general, because you did that, you've made America less competitive. And that's the simple fact. But the media invention wants you to vote for her simply because, well, I guess because she's a woman, because she has nothing else going for her. But this is what the media has invented. And the sheeple are willing to vote for that nonsense. And that's some of them, because I honestly don't believe any of the polls, honestly. I really don't. So we're not going to really know who's the new president until after November. Now, hopefully, now, by the way, as far as the cheating goes, they can't do that bullshit this time because there's not enough COVID. I don't know what they're going to try to do with mail-in ballots. I really don't know. But I have known all of my life that when I went to bed on election night, that I woke up the next day knowing who the president was. The last election that we had was the only time where I ever went to bed and woke up and all of a sudden the numbers had flipped. So no, there was so much impropriety there that they had to spend billions of dollars trying to convince you that there was no impropriety. You're not going to convince me. I'm pretty sure you're lying. Okay? So the bottom line is, as far as oil goes, I believe if you have the money, oil stocks are probably too expensive for most of you to buy. Now, the gas company stocks like, Chevron, Valero, BP, Shell, Sunoco, those are expensive, but I actually think those are worth buying specifically because they pay a dividend. Now, most of the other ones are kind of, but everything's up. All of the oil stocks are up because you got to remember, I bought it when it was in the
When oil went negative, that's when I piled my money into oil. It was like being at a casino at the roulette table. Like you saw when I went to Singapore, I like going to the live dealers and seeing what the tables look like. For me, I don't gamble in casinos, but stock market, I don't even consider it gambling. When I invest, I take my money and push it into that segment. I'm like, you know what? I want to buy all of these oil stocks. All of these things pay a dividend. Right now, oil's negative, but I'm going to go buy the ones that pay a dividend. And sure enough, SM, SLCA, those were my two killers. They did so well. It was just amazing. That's the reason why my Cadillac's sitting outside right now, my electric Cadillac, you know? And I'm sure some people would have bought something else with the money if they had made that kind of money. But you didn't, because you were busy buying Bitcoin thinking you were going to be a millionaire because you put like $100 into Bitcoin. Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe if you had done it back in like 2012, but no, it's not going to happen. Sorry. So anyway, I don't really see any other major standouts like here, and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty much done. But I had to talk about the market because, see, I was looking at my portfolio. My dividends were coming in, and as you know, we're moving towards the end of the year. Some of these things pay at different schedules. These dividends, they have they pay at different dates. They pay at different months. The majority of my dividends I actually collect between the months of like January and I think it's January and March for the most part, the majority of them. But yeah, my dividends are coming in really nice. But I was looking at my portfolio and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to reinvest in because, see, it does nothing if you just take your dividends and just take the money and run. No, the whole point of your dividends is that you buy more stock in more companies or you buy more stock and reinvest. That's the whole point. But see, some people, they don't understand. It's like when they make their dividends, they just take the shit and go buy some Gucci belt or some fucking Prada watch or a Femi this or that or some gold teeth or something stupid. I don't do that. I'm going to reinvest and, try to make more. That's the whole point. But you got somebody like Canada wants to tax your unrealized gains. Canada. You got to be kidding me. It's like, I don't even think these people read the Constitution. I don't think they care about it. I honestly think they want to get rid of it, honestly. I don't trust any of them, honestly. But, that's where we are. So Ford is down. Stellantis is down. I remember when Stellantis was at like $30. What was it? Stellantis' high was like 29.5. I thought they had taken over. I thought they were killing it. Stellantis starts with this bullshit, taking away the Hemi and saying, "Oh, we're just gonna give you stuff you don't want." Yep, they basically have their stock. Their stock is down by basically they killed it. They killed it. Ford, I'm going to stick around with Ford. Ford is still paying a 5.46% dividend, and I have over 1,000 shares of Ford. I'm keeping Ford. GM, they're still doing actually pretty good, actually. Even though that they're doing pretty good. Ironically, I would have thought they'd be doing better, but no, they're not doing bad. They're doing pretty good. But, yeah, that's about it. That's all I could talk about. So, that's the market right now. Expect all of this red by the time we get to the Christmas season, all the tech purchases and everything. It's going to turn this around. I'm pretty sure the Dow, probably by the time we enter 2025, I'm pretty sure the Dow will be back above probably 41,000. And it'll probably be a solid above 41,000, but it'll take a little time. Now, there were some people, last thing I will say, some people were talking about gold. Me personally, I don't really invest in gold. The reason why is because for the most part, unless you invest in a dividend-paying gold fund, investing in gold itself, it doesn't really give you anything. If you actually compare gold to the Dow or the NASDAQ, the amount of money, like let's say you had, I don't know, $1,000 and you put it into gold versus $1,000 put into the Magnificent Seven, you'd have been way above with the Magnificent Seven. the NASDAQ has outperformed gold. Gold has actually not done well as an inflation hedge. See that's the same nonsense they were talking about with cryptocurrency. Oh yeah, it's an inflation hedge. No, it's not. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, those things rise and fall with the market. These things are not good inflation hedges. They're not. If they paid a dividend, maybe I would. I'll say it like this. If Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin paid a dividend, I would feel differently about them. But as far as I see, they're Ponzi schemes, and they're bad ones too. Over time, the only thing that causes those numbers to rise is more reinvestment by companies that already got rich with them, or more reinvestment by people who already got rich with them, and they're trying to pull more people in. If they were dividend-paying stocks, I would feel differently about them, but they're not. And you got to remember, the whole point of a dividend is that a company makes profit, and they take that profit and they distribute it amongst the investors. And that is their way of justifying you reinvesting into their company. If a company is not making dividends, like if you take Berkshire Hathaway, the other option is that they say, you know what, we're smarter than you are, so we know what to do with this extra profit better than you do. So what they do is they say, you know what, we're not going to give you a dividend. We're just going to make proper investments that increase the share price. So if you have one share of Berkshire A, now you're worth, what is it? What's Berkshire A at? Okay, yes. Fuck, they're 715. God damn, one share of that shit. Because I remember, they did pass $1 trillion. So yeah, had you bought Berkshire, think about this. If in 1990 you had bought Berkshire A, you would have spent around $9,000 for it. But right now, that $9,000 would be worth $715,000. That's just one share. So what they're basically saying is, we're not going to pay you a dividend, but what we're going to do is we're going to make you happy by making your share price go up. And apparently it's working, because even Berkshire B, it's at 478. I got it back during the crash, and I kind of have to shout out Michelle Markey. She's another, she's pretty much kind of the person that actually got me interested in Berkshire, because otherwise, I knew who Warren Buffett was, but I never would have bought it. But because of her and watching her back during that time, like during COVID, that's pretty much the only reason why I bought into it. But the reality is, it was a good buy. I'm for every share that I bought, I'm up over $178, because I think I bought it like below 300 or something like that. I don't remember, but it was during the crash. And that was the B shares. I could never afford the A now, because when it was cheap, I was a kid, so I had no money. But that's just that. And then there's Facebook. I refuse to give Zuckerberg a dime. And I'm not even going to talk about it, because I don't give a shit if Facebook goes to the moon. I ain't going with them. I'll get to the moon my own way. It's like I ain't going with it. Zuckerberg, no way. And then you find out that he censors the free speech of conservatives and Donald Trump supporters, and he does everything in favor of Kamala and Biden, censors the Hunter Biden laptop story. I just got off of a Facebook suspension for some bullshit. It's like, nah, man. Nah, Zuckerberg, no, thank you. I ain't giving that bastard a dime. It's like, even Elon Musk, let me say, and that's where I'm going to end. I appreciate Elon Musk. I appreciate what he's done to Twitter. He turned it. I remember when I wanted to see gore, and I wanted to see, how should I say, anybody remember Encyclopedia Dramatica? When I wanted to see shocking stuff, and I wanted to see first-hand information, I wanted to see videos uncensored. I remember I used to have to go to Encyclopedia Dramatica. They killed that channel. Then I started going to a channel called Best Gore. They killed that channel too. With Elon Musk, this man, this guy's worth $250 billion, and he took over X. They can't get to him, and they hate him for that. The liberal media wants to have full control, and they want to be able to decide who can speak and who can't. Elon Musk may not make a good interior. Elon Musk may have bumpers that fall off. Elon Musk might even make rockets that explode midair. But the bottom line is, he returned my ability to have free speech against these pathetic liberal pieces of shit that want to make it so you don't. And for that, I'm grateful. I don't care how you feel about it. I know there's a lot of people who don't like him. I don't care. I might not ever buy a Tesla. I might only own Tesla stock. But the bottom line is, as far as I'm concerned, he gets a thumbs up from me. If for nothing more, then he's the enemy of my enemies, as far as I'm concerned. So I guess that's all I got to say now. See, I said this wasn't going to be long. Apparently it was a little. It wasn't too long, but it's 10:11 now. Jesus. All right, yeah. So, okay, I'm going to go to bed, and that's that.
I'm walking, chilling. See the Cybertruck, bro. Why niggas got what the fuck going on? Hold on. What the fuck? Nah, what? Nah, you can't get niggas in the hood money, homie.
To be continued.